Hi everyone, this is just a short sort of ranty video about a trend I've been seeing in black art. While I'm really glad to see more and more black and even African themed art and literature, it seems we haven't been able to let go of the tendency to lift up ancient Egypt as the pinnacle of African excellence. For example, I recently happened upon an indie superhero comic series set in the time of Western chattel slavery, titled Heru. In case you don't know, Heru is the Egyptologist's rendition of what eventually became the name Horus, the falcon-headed Egyptian god. And I do plan on buying it, maybe even reviewing it on my channel. But I find myself a little disappointed that they had to bring Egypt in, even in this tiny reference. When too many black creatives think of African excellence, it seems that the only thing they can think of is Egypt. Kings and queens and all that. Don't get me wrong, I am a fan of Egyptian mythology. I plan to watch that new Moonlight series precisely because of its Egyptian references, and the fact that Egypt was so prominent in Yu-Gi-Oh lore is a huge part of why I watched it as a teen. But there are a few problems I have with the black fixation on Egypt. First of all, we aren't descended from Egyptians. Our ancestors largely came from Western Africa, which had a whole other set of cultural identities and peoples. Second, it feels like it's basically handing a victory over to our former colonizers and enslavers. They tried so hard to cut off our roots, killing our ancestral languages and cultures. The reason we in the West are so fascinated with Egypt is that they're the only African people that they were interested in and revered. And by the way, there was, and is to an extent, a controversy about the race of the ancient Egyptians, born out of racist ideas held by early Egyptologists. So as one black creative, here's my admonition. There are many black and African peoples and cultures you can depict and reference in your art. And you don't need to focus on kings and queens either. What about normal people who raise cattle? Are their stories less worthy of being told or depicted? And by the way, this is something I've been trying to apply to my own creative process too. The surname of my pen name is Akan and means born on Saturday because, well, I was. And my novelette, Insibi's Forgotten Bonds, is an Afrofuturist story about a Nigerian man and references proto-writing called Insibidi that is endemic to the region. There are more African stories to be told than those bound to the upper and lower kingdoms of ancient Egypt. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. I've been Ken Kwame and I'll see you next time.